Alright, so it is collab time. Actually, that's kind of a lie. And to be fair, if anything, this video is kind of clickbait because we're not actually getting a collaboration next. We're getting a step up, and then 1 week later, we're getting a collaboration. So there will be a step up in between Boulder and also the new collaboration. By the end of the month, we are getting a collab. So before the video starts, let me know what collaboration you guys want to see because, well, I think right now there's only one collaboration that can really take Grand Cross to the next level. Alright, so the first collaboration I want to see, which will fit quite well into Grand Cross, is actually from a series that's quite popular, especially in the early days. It kind of fell off like season 3 and 4, but it is getting a sequel, and it has gotten a sequel actual anime as well, and that is Seven Deadly Sins. Not too sure if you'll have heard of it, but it's a pretty good show. I mean, if you look at the character you've gotten in Grand Cross like 4, and going towards the collaborations like obviously ReZero, and the main characters like the Catastrophes, they're called the 7 Catastrophe. The 7 Deadly Sins would fit actually quite well in. And imagine we just had commandments in the game. I think Grand Cross has already got that 7 Deadly Sins theme a little bit. So I actually really wouldn't mind seeing a 7 Ninja collaboration. Or if they want to do like some sort of like new beginning, then they could actually do Four Nights Apocalypse. So that could be like a new start for them if they really want to do that. Alright, so the banner schedule. I will quickly give out a shout out towards the person who made it. Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross banner list on Twitter. So go follow him if you want to get the link and see this really good sheet of all the characters in the last few years, which I actually don't recognize a lot of them. So we go down towards the bottom. You can see right now we're in August. If you go towards the back towards last year, you can see right before the collaboration at the end of August, which was obviously AOT Part 2. We did get a step up, so we're following the exact pattern. That's what we're going to be getting this month. And the year prior, when we actually got ReZero Part 2, it's always been a returning collaboration. Now, that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean it is a returning collaboration. We're going to talk about returning and also the possible new collaborations. And we'll break down my thoughts towards the end. So, yeah, just once again, confirming it is going to be a collaboration. So, who is it going to be? We'll start off with the returning ones. Slime Part 3. This is the first collaboration in Grand Cross. So, it would make a lot of sense as well to be the third part collaboration. And yeah, after what he did with Shield Hero Part 2, when he actually went back and buffed the old characters, would love this thing to go back and actually buff up Demon Lord Rimuru because, well, because if they do decide to do a Part 3, we will not be getting a new Rimuru, and for Demon Rimuru not to be playable would be kind of a shame. So I'd love them to do that in the Fumi treatment, where they actually buff him up and make him a pretty good character. For the characters they're actually going to add, I'd say almost certainty it's going to be Diablo and also Xion. Those two characters as a pair in the show itself are actually like a dual combo in a little bit, so getting both of those on like one banner would make a lot of sense if you are actually a fan of, obviously, you know, Slime. But also, the anime is currently airing, and a few episodes ago, actually quite a while ago, both Diablo and also Xion got like a new power-up, so that would actually make a lot of sense for them to be the two new characters if they're basing it off the newest season, which they typically like to do. However, it may be a bit too soon for them to be actually playable because I imagine Grand Cross has to then look at the anime, which only came out like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago now, and make a character base of that. I'm going to go on a whim and say the characters that we are going to get added towards this new collaboration have already been made for the past few weeks, months now even. So, yeah, I feel like it's not going to be Slime just because if they are going to do it, they're going to base off the new season, and it's too soon, I would say. So I feel like that could be the next Part 2 or Part 3 collaboration we get. So I'm going to say it's not Slime, but if it is, it will be them two. However, I guess it's possible they decide not to do Xion and also Diablo, and instead maybe go towards the Dragon on the Million, which I would love to see in game, and maybe Veldora because those are from past seasons. Or even still, they might even do Xion and also Diablo, but once again, from past seasons. ReZero, I mean, like I said, it's been 2 years since we've had them return, because 2 years this month, we would have had obviously Echidna and also Reinhardt. And would I like it to return? Sure, I think. I'm not entirely too sure. I mean, obviously, if we do get a Part 3, it would be hopefully Subaru finally getting added towards the game. And people have made arguments about him being playable. Guys, they can. He has the unseen hand like the end of Season 1 or like half of Season 2. They can do a character base of him. I'm really curious on how they're going to handle his return by death, because he could be a character like after 2 turns, he revives, or he just has a revive basically. But yeah, that would be a really good character they can add towards the game. In terms of the other side character, there's a few characters you can do. Garfield, make him like a bit of a transforming character a little bit. I would love to see Felix because he could be some sort of support character. Maybe if they want to, they can even do a dual character with Felix and Krush, I think is how you say her name. But yeah, that will be, I guess, the Part 3 if they were to decide to do it. But in turn, they would obviously buff up, you'd imagine, Emilia. Would they buff up Emilia though? I'm not entirely too sure because they had the chance to buff her up in the part 2, and they gave her probably the most useless relic in the game. So maybe they don't want to buff her up, but you know, I would love to see Reinhardt being buffed up because he actually was a really fun character in the game. That being obviously RNG based. Why is he doing that actual goofy pose? I just realized what he's doing. But for Echidna, she's been a staple in the unknown team for a long time. I mean, she's obviously fallen off, but you've seen her come in some situations, some teams where like, hey, you don't mind throwing her in. So I'd love to see her get buffed up too. So yeah, if we're going to be getting a ReZero part 3, it is likely, I'd say more than, let's say, Slime, for example, just because if they are doing characters, they can do it from easy from the last seasons. And yeah, I'm not opposed to it, wouldn't mind it. But the one I feel like is the more likely towards me right now is Meshuggah Tensei. I'll start with Ghislaine because, unironically, she could be good in the meta right now. Boulder's been an absolute menace. So having a cancel stance character, I think I saw Davo as well and a few other YouTubers use her. And I think she's alright. Once again, they're going to buff her up, you can imagine, right? So yeah, Ghislaine right now, releasing right now in the meta, right off the Boulder, I think would probably be one of the smarter moves they can do. Unless I'm just wrong and she does absolutely nothing. But of course, Roxy getting a buff too with obviously the bunch of unknown characters we've just got in the last few weeks with Merlin, Thor, Subnak. She could get buffed up to where it makes her passive hopefully a bit better because even when she released, it wasn't that great. I mean, it could give some more love towards Rudius. However, I feel like they're probably going to release a new Rudius alongside Sylvie based off the last season. So it'll be them two characters. Rudius, I would actually really love to see as an older character because I prefer that design of him, right? Where the kid one, not a really big fan of. So they actually could make a new Rudius like how we had Rimuru and the new Rimuru. And Sylvie, one of my favorite characters from Meshuggah Tensei. Would love for her to be like some sort of support for unknowns. And Eris, yeah, Eris is Eris. She's not getting anything. But yeah, my guess would be Meshuggah Tensei if it is a returning collaboration because I think the timing would be pretty good, especially if they wanted to release a cancel stance user right off the Boulder. That would be the worst idea. I mean, there are obviously more collaborations, like obviously Stranger Things, which, I mean, guys, does anyone actually want to return? I love Stranger Things, really like the actual like last few seasons, kind of wait for the new one. I just don't want it in my Grand Cross game, right? I'm not even calling it a 7 Sins game. I just don't want it in my Grand Cross game. In terms of KOF, I mean, sure, they probably have to return it at one point, but we've gotten all the big characters, I think. Mine, Terry, and like Kyo is like the only ones we've kind of really needed, and we've kind of gotten them already. So, yeah, probably no for KOF. So yeah, out of those 3 collaborations, let me know which one you would want to see the most because I do feel like if it is a return collaboration, it would be one of these 3 collaborations. Definitely leaning more towards Meshuggah Tensei just because it would be the first part 2, and we have to wait and see how Netmarble handles part 3 collaborations and if they are even going to do them. So yeah, for now, gonna go with Meshuggah Tensei. Alright, and finally, I want to talk about the new collaboration. So, there is one thing I got told behind the scenes from someone who worked on another Shueisha gacha game. If you know my other channel, you can probably tell. And I actually got told that the reason why Shueisha doesn't collab with a lot of actual gacha games is because they don't like when Shueisha, an IP from Shueisha, collabs with another IP from Shueisha, or even Kodansha as well, right? They just don't like mixing up 2 animes, which makes a lot of sense when you actually look at it, because if you go towards like a Demon Slayer collaboration, you would say they haven't, maybe like 1 or 2, but even right now I can't even find one. But Demon Slayer, a Shueisha collaboration, hasn't collabed with another anime IP. The main reason why is because they don't like, and they can't really explain why 2 animes are mixing together. Where if you have something like Monster Strike that isn't based off an actual anime, they are more likely to allow that, right? Like Monster Strike, Ninja Gago, I think that's Puzzle Quest, stuff like that, right? My point is, collaborations from Shueisha are just really off limits if our main game is from another anime IP. I'm sure there are examples where it could happen, and if Netmarble maybe gets access towards it, they have to pay a little bit more money, then, hey, they could do it. But I feel like, once again, we haven't seen it in 5 years. It's not going to happen now. So let's break down what actual animes are possible, and that's ones that are just given out a lot more in communities, and also, I guess, from Kodansha themselves. First is Shangri-La Frontier. This is a collab that I expect to happen this year, actually. If it's not now, it's happening in 2 months' time. I think it's undoubtedly going to happen. The main reason why is because Shangri-La Frontier is obviously quite a popular anime that got aired recently, but also it's owned by Kodansha, and Netmarble has the rights to it because they're making a game based off it. And the reason why we got Tower of God and even King of Fighters is because Netmarble has made a game previously based off those IPs. So yeah, Shangri-La Frontier, it's going to happen. Like, you know, I have to name it first. So that is another one. Also, solo leveling. We saw, obviously, Netmarble has made, once again, another solo leveling game. I say another, just a solo leveling game. So yeah, solo leveling is possible. However, I would say solo leveling wise, I mean, I haven't played it or watched it, so I actually don't know that many other characters apart from like the main character, so it might be one of the smaller collaborations if they do decide to do it. Next is Konosuba, once again in the same boat as Overlord, Slime, AOT. You're not a real gacha game if you haven't got on a Konosuba collaboration. Like, everyone's got on a Konosuba collaboration. It's going to happen at one point in our game. And, you know, the 4 characters fits quite well with the format we have right now. We get 4 characters. That being said, they may have actually lowered it down since we got Tower God with 3 characters. But Konosuba, also very likely. Next, my guilty pleasure, Data Live. We got leaks a while ago, apparently behind the scenes from like the beta server, which may or may not be actually real, where apparently they're meant to do a actual Data Live collaboration. It's once again in the same boat as what I just named with Konosuba, but a lot less popular. They do a lot of collaborations. I know that because I am a big Data Live fan, and I play a lot of gacha games because they do Data Live collaborations. So once again, always gonna name this one. That's my guilty pleasure. I really hope it happens, but who knows, right? Eminence in Shadow. This is one I kind of don't want to happen. Not because I don't like it. I mean, I haven't even watched it, but the main reason why is because every single time we get a new collaboration tease, everyone always says it's going to be Eminence in Shadow, and it's kind of put me off the anime a little bit. I know it's stupid reasoning, but hey, it's going to happen probably. But I will admit, in the short time that the anime's been airing, they have collabed with a lot of actual other gacha games, so will not be surprised once again if we do get this one. And then finally, I mentioned it because it has at least more than a 1% chance, I guess you could say, and that is Wistoria. This is a new anime that came out recently, and I don't think they've collabed with anyone, but it is owned by Kodansha, so once again, you never know. And then finally, Fate. I don't feel like Fate is likely to happen in Grand Cross. I just don't see it happening because they do give out the IP quite often, but not as often as like the ones we've just named. So I think we're more likely to get those ones than something like Fate. In fact, the only reason why I love a Fate collaboration is 1, probably get me to watch the actual anime, but 2 is to beat Star Rail into getting a collaboration, because they've made a big thing about, oh, Fate is coming to Star Rail, which once again probably gonna make me play that game. But I'd love if Grand Cross can beat them to it. That would be pretty sick. So guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what collaboration you guys want to see, but I'm willing to bet that one of the ones that I've named off in this video is likely going to happen. Once again, I'm definitely leaning more towards Mushoku Tensei Part 2 if it is a return of collaboration, and if it is a new collaboration, I'm definitely going to see Shangri-La Frontier. So guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.